Greetings and welcome. Welcome, everybody. Wonderful to see you. Happy April Fool's Day. And here we are, willing to question our thoughts we sometimes think of as foolish, yes? So, welcome. So good to have you. I love being in the company of people who think and who inquire. So thought I'd open with this quote from Katie, and this is from Loving What Is today. So, when we write down our thoughts, so Katie's speaking about actually writing down and capturing a thought or being really clear about what it is you're taking a look at, not let it wiggle away. She says, I've got to take seriously what I was believing in a situation, or I'm going to take it with me all the days of my life. I've got to question these beliefs. I see thoughts as unloved children. They scream for attention, and they come back and back and back and back. But if we identify and take one dear child, one thought, no matter how vile, and we just write it down and sit with it the way you would sit patiently with your own child, and just have this talk with it like, sweetheart, is it true? You know, we're questioning thoughts. These are not people. It's what we're thinking and believing about people and ourselves. So eventually the mind finds a home in itself. It ends the war with itself. And that's the enlightened mind, the kind mind, the one we're waking up to here. The one we're waking up to here. So okay that we have all these thoughts, all the foolish thoughts and perceptions. Of course, how kind it is to welcome them. Just notice the welcoming that's happening just by arriving and just being here. Imagine letting all the thoughts live. So, welcome to this Fool's Day, April Fool's Friday. And when I was growing up, my sisters and I always raced downstairs to the breakfast table to see who was going to like sneak in first, get up really early and change the sugar and the salt on the breakfast table. And see if our dad or mom kind of forgot that it was April Fool's Day. And I don't know if it ever worked much. You know, they usually knew that was going on, but it was fun. And apparently it's a very old tradition. And I love the fool in Shakespeare who speaks the truth, doesn't stay politically correct or say what's supposed to be being said, and just says it. A wonderful character. So maybe in the spirit of that, we'll tapping into that part of all of us today. That has something, you know, we might want to say. Sometimes we're afraid. And Ludo says, and it's my birthday. What a great birthday, April Fool's Day. Lovely to have you. And you have a special guest, Tom Compton. Hi, Tom.
Bom dia.
Of course, everybody's a special guest. Everyone's a special guest here. But thanks for joining, Tom. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Wonderful
Yeah.
to see everyone. All the fools gathered. I really liked your Rumi quote.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, start something foolish today. Begin something that you've wanted to begin, but been afraid because of what people might think of you. Launch the ship of fools today. I mean, it's already launched. Here we are, pretending to be humans. And taking it seriously. Oh. Anyway, welcome and thank you for the invitation to join.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that. Looking at maybe what we, those dreams or ideas or something being said that you haven't said. A conversation, or maybe the life is launching it for you. I find that, like writing it.
I'm willing. I look forward to being a fool. Being the fool.
Yeah.
Sounding like a fool, looking like a fool.
So where have you thought that you looked like a fool, did something embarrassing? Hope nobody ever finds out about it. Maybe some quality or way you are that you think, oh. I don't want them to know that.
Some guilty pleasure.
Yeah, Anne J. Hi, Anne. Oops. I think you're still muted, my dear.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So something that I'm embarrassed about, that I feel foolish about, is that I hurry myself a lot, because I imagine that people are waiting for me somewhere, or like in the grocery store line, if there are people behind me and I get cash and I have to stuff it in my wallet, I'm like, ah! And even at home, sometimes I feel myself hurrying myself, and that feels foolish. I know where it comes from, but yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else have had that before? Quick in the grocery line. People are waiting. Yes. Doing it wrong. Hurry up. Yeah. Who else? Who else wants to share a foolish moment? Yeah, May. Mine is too disgusting to say out loud, especially on YouTube. LOL. It's okay. You don't have to say it out loud and just look. See it. Finding it with anger, Darby, such a good one. Yeah, I had that. I've had that. It still will appear like, whoa, this thing, but it's amazing to do the work on just simply being angry. I shouldn't be. Looks bad if you get angry. Looks bad if you go slap somebody, right?
Hi,
Don't ever do
hi,
that.
Hi, Grace.
Hi.
It's Cloud.
Oh,
It's
hi,
Cloud.
Hello,
How are
Cloud.
you?
There you are. Yes. Hello.
Hello, my darling. I'm really exactly what was the topic again? What we're just talking about?
Yes, foolishness.
Okay, so I feel super foolish right now, and I have for the whole month because about a year ago somebody was threatened with violence on Facebook, and I went to the person who was threatened, and I told her, I think that somebody's threatening to kill you on Facebook. And it turned into a trial, and the trial was this month. And I apparently I ended up not going. It brought up so many bad feelings that I ended up not going, but they subpoenaed me as a witness, and turned into this crazy mess. And the defense, came out with things about me that were totally unreal and unbelievable. And I feel so foolish for having stood up and said to this person, hey, you were threatened. I feel really foolish for having gone out on a limb like that.
Ah, okay. Good. Very good moment. Very good situation. You know, I went out on a limb and it turned out bad.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Eleni. Hello.
Hi, Grace. Hi.
Hi.
Happy April Fool's Day.
Happy April Fool's Day.
The other night, I hosted an open mic night, and I told everyone we could do karaoke by sharing our computer sound. It was on Zoom, by sharing our computer sound and singing through our microphone. And I was going to be the first person that did it, and I was going to sing a really challenging song to sing. And I forgot, I put the headphones on to listen to the music that was, I thought, being shared through the computer, but it wasn't. So they just heard me screaming and singing the song without the music at all. I felt so foolish. And no one said anything. They just listened to me singing it out with no music. What a fool I was. Took a lot for me to feel foolish, but boy, did I ever feel foolish after that.
That's a good one. Thank you. Oh, I love share is sharing. I tend to feel most alive when I'm being silly. Ah, yes. Eleni, thanks for sharing that. So I'm looking at the chat here. I threw his stuff out the window and it was serious. Ludo, I stuffed my suitcase because I'm flying to Italy next week and now it was silly of me to do it. Kara, I feel foolish that I failed a friendship. Yeah. And Godel, I feel foolish when I play quiz games where you were supposed to know things. It's a good one. Anat, I'm a fool for not asking for more money. Yeah, powerful. Mary, having a poor memory with recall of information. It feels like I'm not listening, but I really am. Don't you love when something foolish, immediately the mind comes with why and what was happening and let me explain what's going on and to tell you about it. It really wants to defend and find innocence. Debbie, talking on Zoom when muted. Yeah. May, I feel foolish for gossiping. Cher, loving Eleni's laughter. Gabby, I sent off a big package to India, lots of dollars, and wrote the address wrong. And Nick, I sent a friend an accusatory letter when I was upset and thought it was because of them. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's a good one, Nick. I can relate, sending a letter off, you know. Bella, I feel foolish and naive for pursuing a career in singing and songwriting. So let's, you know, we'll look at that. Foolish, naive. Shouldn't have done it like that. You notice how that comes? I shouldn't have done it like that. And the mind reviewing what needed to happen, how it went, so that you can make sure it doesn't go that way again next time. Well, let's take a look. Yeah, Monica.
Yeah, what's coming up for me is feeling foolish for staying in a relationship with somebody I didn't respect and who wasn't good for me or my kids.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can find that one too. Yeah. They're foolish to think he'd be different after we had a baby. May, foolish for wanting to talk so much about my inner world. I think too much. I'm annoying, such a narcissist. I shouldn't be.
If anyone's experiencing a burn, as best you can, just allow it to burn. There's a Vernon Howard quote that says, humiliation or embarrassment is your salvation. If we allow it to just burn.
Yeah, if you're thinking about one like, oh, if they knew, even right here, they could see that. I will never tell them. Don't want anyone to know. It doesn't mean you should tell it. Just noticing that. What the burn says, Kim, like the feeling in the body, like, yeah, like that. That's how I'd say it. Oh God. And the burning in the face and the heat. Ouch, it hurts. Yeah, Dina.
Yeah, so you didn't read, you didn't see mine and read it out loud, and I realized I would like to actually say it because this is something that's been, man, for years and years. Probably about 10 years ago, the school that we were at was having a party for the teachers, and I thought it was also for parents. And we rode up to the house and, you know, didn't somehow notice how few people were there. Went inside, stayed for like 30 minutes, and somebody finally pulled me aside and said, "You need to leave." And then we had to go back and be in that school for the next several years. And we were new to the school. So that one is one that just burn. Every time somebody says, you know, what's the most embarrassing moment, it just comes back for revisiting.
You need to leave. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Teresa, feeling foolish for using food to comfort me for so many years. Yes. As you all know, I can really relate to that one. Leslie, I feel foolish for trying to be a litigation lawyer in a big firm and raise my daughters as a single mother. Yeah, that whole thing, that whole lawyer thing. Could have done it differently. Rose, I felt so foolish when I held an evening something, invited a guest artist and tech support, and none came. And I did the program anyway. Burning. Got it. Yes. Nobody showed up. Anita, foolish for not having my life figured out, like what I'm supposed to be when I grow up. Yeah. Kim.
So I wanted to share the image that I'm having come up right now is remembering, like, I think it was 14 years ago, I had blamed a friend for stealing money out of my car. I had, I had cash up on the dashboard and she was the only one in the car, and I got back in and it was gone. And I was accusing her. And it was like 2 weeks later that I found that the money slipped through the dashboard, like into like a whatever, someplace there. And I didn't find it for a couple weeks, and I never admitted to that, but I felt really foolish. And I noticed that that's something that actually comes up a lot, where my first thought is somebody did this, like somebody, I can't find my keys, somebody took it. Or it's just, and then I keep finding out, like, no, it was me, I put it somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who stole my cheese?
Yeah, and to open up to taking responsibility for every experience. It's like we push away, any negative experience, we push it away. Oh, not my fault. Oh, who did this? And to turn that around, I'm willing to, open to taking responsibility for every experience, but especially the unpleasant ones.
So let's find that, you see that very unpleasant, foolish experience, and it doesn't matter if it's standing in a line and that seems like something, maybe not life-changing or something, all the way to my whole career that I chose. And just see, that was so foolish. See what happens when you think of this quality, situation, incident, relationship. Feel that burn, like Tom said, just noticing it. I can see some of the old familiars come, tap into foolishness in the thought stream. My husband left me. My friend accused me. My child got angry with me. I had no money. Feel the dangers and the seriousness of it that comes in. I got so angry. They told me to leave. I made a mistake. Notice what happens when you think it. Don't want it to be true. Wish it wasn't true. Ooh. What happens when you see that nobody showed up? You know, this part of my mind goes, let's go over this again. Let's see, like, or we can find why it went wrong. What happens when you think it? You try to gather information or learn what would it take to get this to not happen anymore, ever again. Let's read another book. Not that there's anything wrong with books. It's one of my favorites. May it becomes a huge deal, or I have to prove I learned some spiritual lessons. I shame myself into a small corner. I feel like a victim. Yeah, Ludo, did you raise your hand? Yeah. Hang on. There, yeah.
Just wanted to know whether is the sentence we're working on is I made a mistake? Is the thought I made a mistake?
Yeah.
Is that the general?
You got it. Yes. I made a mistake.
Okay.
I made a mistake. Gabby, when I think that thought, I get into the suffering state of, if only that had not happened, then I would be happy. Don't you love seeing that? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, share.
When I go to my memory, I recognize that I think in some ways I've healed, if that makes sense. That at first I feel embarrassment, to kind of like think, oh, you know, you weren't very smart, you were naive, foolish kind of thing, right? And then with the particular thing that I have in my mind, one of my sisters was very sweet with me, when I was sharing that kind of shame that was coming up of, oh, foolish me, you know, I'm so naive, I'm so stupid, is more accurate, is what I was saying about myself. And she was so lovely with me, you know, that she was like, oh, share, you know, like, you know, don't feel badly about about having a bigger heart. You know, she says, like, it's not a bad thing that you want to think the best of people. So yeah, it does make me cry a little, but it's still a nice thought. It's a nice memory, of being seen as tender.
Tenderness. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Having the support and the welcoming you as you are appearing right there in that moment that I thought of as foolish.
Yeah, just so grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick, I'm stricter with myself when I think that. I was a fool. I made a mistake. Shouldn't have done it. I can't trust myself. I have a feeling of dread. Yeah. Michelle, I feel foolish when I don't articulate myself well and can't find the word I'm looking for, or I forget what my client says when I'm trying to respond or reflect back. So feeling that, what it's like. Made a mistake, could have had a whole different life. The images of the future. Replay, can I do this? Can I get a do-over? In a way you can, in your own mind and heart. So just noticing and noticing how you walk about the day, your life, holding that thought. Like we open the opening quote, Katie saying about looking at what you were believing in a situation, and without inquiry, I'm going to take it with me all the days of my life. Anne says, I become very serious. My path appears really narrow and taut. And Dina, I see how big this seems. End of the world. So big. May, I take responsibility for the other person's reaction. I'm afraid. Yeah. I mean, I might notice, well, with other people, since that happened with that person, I'm going to be more careful with other people. What did I do? How do I treat myself? Who I am isn't enough. I gotta tighten up things. You can relate to who said, Teresa's beautiful. If people saw how I comfort with food, once did the work on, I lost my entire 20s, all those years, to insanity with addiction, addictive behavior. I found my entire life, turned around. I found what I wanted. And it wasn't even true. I lost my entire 20s. I mean, oh my God, but very dramatic. Anita, I feel like I have to really watch myself and be hypervigilant to not be foolish again, which makes me more serious and less free to be in the moment. Yeah. So I may feeling embarrassed of all the ways I showed up before that moment. Oh yeah. If I recognize something that I did, like, oh my God, I saw that I made a mistake, and I'm embarrassed for everything before that, before I knew that it was a mistake and that was bad. And Kim, yes, Anita, I feel that. Also always questioning myself, always doubting myself, always questioning my motives. Can't trust whatever this is that I am. Okay. So definitely burning. So who would you be without the thought? Who would you be without this story? That it's possible to make a mistake, that you made one there. That was the wrong thing. That was bad. Shouldn't have done it. That was foolish. Without that. You weren't able to think that thought right now in this moment. as you have images of that situation. Who are you without that story? Could it be you are already without that story, just seeing what that's like? I wouldn't take the person's reaction personally. I'd be in my business, curious to inquire for my own truth, loving myself. Nick, I'd be clownish in a good way. Yes. Notice I've been taking life way too seriously. Anita, I'd just be a human living her life moment to moment. Some seemingly wiser choices and some foolish, but free to be myself and flow with life. And Anne, I'm more able to slow down and feel what I'm feeling. More self-awareness, more humor. Bella, I feel interested and alive in my own life, capable of shaping it in a way that works for me. Yeah, Anat.
Hi, I just thought of this card from
Oh,
the
yeah.
tarot, the
Mhm.
Fool. And like, I don't know if you can see the expression. I feel like that, like completely enticed by the sun and the weather, and like it just like everything is flowing, and I don't care if I'm going to fall into this huge cliff, like off this huge cliff. It doesn't matter. There's just so much like amazement with the universe and with everything that's happening. So
Love it. Yeah, amazed. Wow, without the thought, I'm amazed. Like a wow. Dina, I'm someone doing the very best I can, trying to show up for my kid and be part of the community. I'd see my nervousness as blinding me to see the signs of what's happening. It's okay. Nobody is hurt. It's all okay. And I love going all the way into the turn. Like, could it be perfect that there was this event only for, teachers? I showed up. Could it be I was supposed to be there? Since that was what happened. I mean, that thing that you're so foolish and difficult, there's going to be benefits. I'm willing to see that as okay that it happened. Even willing to make a mistake again. Mistake. Claire Lees, I'd be free to be my spontaneous, sometimes impulsive self. Darby, I'd see that I am, in my own way, of a dream come true. And share without the self-judgment and shame. I take the information and adjust my plans. Like, oh, that's the way it's going. Didn't see that coming. Hey, the situation where I was foolish led me to using my time and space much more wisely for myself. I'm grateful for it. With Cynthia, I am safe. I get to see that the idea of foolishness was a way to beat myself up unnecessarily, an attempt to establish control when there's no such thing. Ah, powerful. Yeah, Anne.
No, that was a mistake. Sorry.
Perfect. Bonnie, I try my best and mistakes happen. It does not mean I'm a flawed person. Humans make mistakes. We all do. I don't feel foolish, says Anita. Almas, I'm free to be seen as a pompous ass. Excellent. I told this story yesterday in a group where when I was a kid, I'm the oldest in my family, can be kind of bossy sometimes, and my sisters or whatever's going on there when you're the oldest, you know, I don't know. But I went into two of my sisters were talking in somebody's bedroom, one of their bedrooms. And I said, well, I had whispered to one of my sisters, I'm going to hide under the bed. Talk about me. Ask our other sister all about me. You know, I hid under the bed. The other sister reappeared, not knowing that I was under the bed. And the sister I had directed to ask the question said, you know, what do you think of Grace? And they were talking a little bit. And then my little sister said, I think she's a bitch. Which, you know, there's hardly any swearing in my house either. That was like pretty intense. I was so shocked and mortified. I mean, I'm under the bed, just like burning. And I just began to feel like I'm going to cry. And I just rolled myself out from under the bed and just raced through the room right between them and ran out the door and up the stairs. And it was never spoken of again until many years later when I bumped into the work and I remembered that moment and I talked to that sister about that moment, which was great. But I mean, shocking. And now it would look, you know, that was true. I was kind of a bitch. A lot, you know, get out of here. This is my room. And I'm willing to be that way. I'm willing. I even look forward to, because there's something in that that is of service. It's okay. And I can be respectful. I mean, without
I
it.
liked how, from your recounting, I just liked how open you were as a young person to burning. Just really open to, you know, in that moment you're burning, not defending, just burning. To me, it's beautiful.
Love that. That's, yeah, sweet. Which isn't that sweet? Tom just shared, just notice in your moment that you're thinking about the impact of this dance or the relating or whatever's happening there with reality. That something's heartbreaking and heart opening about that moment. how it is you're even remembering it or thinking about it, because it was like a powerful moment, and how beautiful that is. I love that Rose is sharing. I created an event. It's a good thing. The organizers trusted me enough to get on board. How great that is. Gratitude for their trust. I'd be open to listening to ideas to improve. No shame. Yeah, that's fabulous, Rose. You see the good things in that. Eleni, I would see how supportive, loving, and open they were to me. Nothing bad happened. I didn't screw up. I'm just a woman that sang a song and sang it pretty well, even without them hearing the music. I'm playful with myself, and it's next. There is no hang up. May I let myself try standing up for myself. That person wasn't into it. Also, next. Ludo, I would love the fact that I'm spontaneous, natural. Touched by life, touched by reality, myself, the mind. Yeah, share.
I'm having some thoughts around like kind of a reframe, I guess, of judging myself as foolish, and that sometimes, like this week, I was able to pivot, as people say sometimes these days. When I was feeling foolish, I was facilitating something and people were silent, and at first I felt embarrassed and thought, oh my goodness, like I must be doing it wrong. And I felt like kind of inner embarrassment about it. And then it felt kind of old, you know. It was I was like, stop the nonsense kind of thing, my own nonsense. And I giggled a little and I thought, well, I'm just going to pretend people really did answer. And and it turned into this funny, playful thing, and the people participating really liked it. So I used my siblings' names because that was the easiest for me in terms of like in the moment. I was like, oh, isn't it great that so and so said? And I just like kind of made a comment as if someone had answered me, and then I got into real silly mode and said, oh, and so had this idea, and oh, I love that. So it was just so much better than just sitting there in shame and thinking, oh, I'm doing it wrong. The playful part came out and was like, okay, like just do something different, see what happens. Yeah, I just thought I'd share that.
That's so great. The playfulness and imagination, like that foolish project like Noah, the Rumi quote, spontaneously coming to life. Marie Francois. Hello.
Hi, I think I may be, I actually raised my hand to do the work. I'm not sure. You might not be on that part
Oh,
yet.
yes,
You might be doing something else.
Here we are. We've been kind of doing it group wise,
Okay.
being foolish and what it's like to question the thought that you were foolish about something in a situation.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, but I'm glad you're here. Mhm.
will it be possible to do it later? Or are we just doing it like we're doing it today?
Doing it like this today.
Okay.
But come back next time.
Okay.
Like you do. Yeah. Thanks, my dear. Bella, I just be in the reality that things are working out and I seem very well set up for success, and I'd be able to act based out of that without reference to imaginary, scary futures of mine and other people's. Nice. I like that imaginary future, scary future part. Monica, I would notice that my kids are doing great. I am fine, and we have survived and thrived and had a great life over the past 13 years. Nice, yes. Yeah, there's that, it's just a thought coming through, playing like music, if it's an old stressful thought or whatever. Yeah. Imagine bringing a little bit of that spice into the experience of the day, or however things go, of the aliveness of being a fool, however you've done it. Nothing wrong. Eleni, I realize how hilarious everything and life gave me a perfect situation to face my fear of singing a really difficult song a cappella. Darby, burn in the cheeks without knowledge of anything else. Burn in the mind. Yeah. Like, I love that, you know, living turnaround, letting it be as it is. Notice how life is letting you be as you are. And you are life. At least I notice that. Even the mind, like the little children Katie's talking about. All right that they're there. Leslie, I could live spontaneously instead of stepping gingerly into the future. And May, life also gave me the perfect situation to stop looking to others for my approval. I looked for it and got burned. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, Claire Lee.
I just I was having trouble thinking of being without the thought, because I was with, the situation was when I was with my husband, we were hosting dinners, official dinners. And so whatever I did would have a reflection on him. But as I was thinking deeper into that, I realized, well, he married me, you know, it's like, it's because I was so in his business, you know, whatever he would give me a little look, you know, I was like, okay, shut up, don't say anything. And I was so not free to be myself, you know.
Oh, that's
just
great.
Because of how I was interpreting and not wanting to shame him. And yeah, that's not my goal to shame him, but it could be that the party could be a little bit more lively.
I love that, sort of, in some ways, like just this broad, you know, turnaround example He married me. There's an example of it's okay the way it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not only did he marry you, but he's still married to you at that time.
Probably because I didn't say the things I was going to. No.
No, Lenny, without the thought, I'd have literally done this quote: start a huge, foolish project like Noah. Yeah. So some of you saw that, you know, talking about April Fool's Day. Start a huge, foolish project like Noah. Noah built a whole ark, right? Old story. Put all the animals on the ark because a flood's coming. It makes absolutely no difference what people think of you. Rumi. It was the first time I tried to do karaoke that way online. LOL. Bonnie, I can be free of carrying around the embarrassment for years. Yeah. Just imagine what a fun turnaround. At least I'm here thinking, I'm like, what a fun, who knows what the foolish project is? It's underway already, but what a fun spirit to take into a living turnaround for the day. Like, what a huge, foolish project, you know, this all is fabulous. Work, work, work on the ark. Darby, it's his fault, haha, in my own mind. Business about my own person who married me. He chose me, and now here I am. That's fun, just letting all the thoughts be there. But yeah. Very sweet to be in this foolish invitation. Invited into life. Notice how you're showing up. And I think like Dina's example, I showed up and the mind might be talking about how you came and you're not supposed to be here, or didn't you know this was only for da-da-da-da-da teachers? And actually for everyone, as it turns out. Eleni, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. William Shakespeare, as you like it. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you all for your work. Anyone else want to share? Just anything you've noticed or feel? Yeah. Eleni.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Grace. I wanted to share just how in this moment, at least, looking forward, I am looking forward to being humiliated and embarrassed. And yeah, it's really a great place to be.
Yeah, that's a good one. Monica, without the thought I'm foolish for taking life seriously, I see how cutely intense and earnest I have been and am. Like when a kid gets lost in their make-believe and thinks they really are making a cake out of mud. I see all the desire to get it right, to do what's expected, to ace the test of life and make God and my parents proud. So intense, so earnest, so well-meaning, so persistent. Well said. So kind, you know, it's just so kind, isn't it?
Yeah, so beautiful to clearly see the innocence, earnestness. Oh my God. How can our heart not open when we see see that so clearly. There's a Thomas Merton quote I was thinking of sharing if we had time.
Beautiful.
Okay. In humility is the greatest freedom. As long as you have to defend the imaginary self that you think is important, you lose your peace of heart. As soon as you compare that shadow with the shadows of other people, you lose all joy, because you have begun to trade in unrealities, and there is no joy in things that do not exist. In humility is the greatest freedom.
Lovely to be with you all. Thanks for coming, Tom. Yeah, and all the beautiful people here. Thank you. Our wonderful, great ship of fools. Fantastic, and have a wonderful day wherever you are. Fantastic to have you join. Yeah.
We should all laugh.
you.
Let's all laugh
Ew.
like fools.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Bye.